One of the things that defines my unique business of me is a dream and a vision of a very different model of business and of what we call work. You see, I see work simply as taking our skill sets, our experiences, and our knowledge out into the world to meet needs and or wants of others. That's what work is. And being compensated, most of us with money, but increasingly, I think we're also finding our way back to using other types of exchange. But that's what work is. It's just going out in the world and meeting needs and wants of one another. I see this very, very, very clearly in a very, very different way than what I refer to as the mainstream. I believe that it is possible to have an economic system, and again, I use that word very loosely, an economic system that is not represented by all of us going out into the world and meeting these needs and wants, representing these huge companies, but instead going out into the world and meeting these needs and wants as honest representations of ourselves. I can see a world where instead of interacting as representatives of huge corporations, we each exist as our own company. And therefore, we don't have to run anything up any ladder. We don't have to have board meetings with our boards. We speak for ourselves. We commit ourselves, project by project, skill set by skill set, out in the world. That's the simplest description. But I know that transitioning to a greater system that looks like that from how most people see work is not going to happen overnight. It likely won't happen in my lifetime. But that is ultimately a very big part of what I'm feeling called to do as I travel my individual journey of doing that for myself. The farm was to date the most unique place I've ever worked. Maddening and insane, and crazy and challenging, but it had more freedom than any other place that I had been an employee of. Now, my contract work does not fall under the umbrella of being an employee. I'm on payroll for an event. So I've got a boss for that event. Now, it just so happens that I work for the same couple of people who have these businesses for many events throughout the year. But it's not, it's just a very, very different type of work. It literally is committed event by event, in any given year. So I don't put that in the same category of the farm because at the farm, I hadn't been a full-time employee in a while, but I was an employee. I was W-2'd, whereas in my event world, I'm 1099. Okay, it's a different setup. And as a more regular employee, it was by far the most unique place, having the most freedom for the employees individually, and had we ever been able to come together collectively in any way to work. This is a big aspect of this backdrop that I am working to utilize in an effort to speak about many lessons that I learned that I think can have relevance to others. Now, it's going to take more than one video to sort of weave this together. And I would be lying if I said it was entirely clear right now. It's not, but I'm beginning to see and feel what I believe is just an opportunity for me to utilize this very long standing, multifaceted, multi layered, very real present day experience that has now come to an end in terms of me as an employee. But the door that has opened is to be able to use it to teach. First and foremost, to teach myself, to ensure that I work to see and learn as many lessons as I can as I process all that has happened in preparation to release this experience. But I know that ultimately we're all connected. And I know that despite the fact that each of our stories is incredibly unique to each of us, there are tremendous similarities and commonalities. And so, what I'm hoping to do, what I'm intending to do, is to not only identify and learn the lessons myself, but then to be able to highlight them at a highest level, at a higher level, so that perhaps in the sharing of this very specific, unique to me story, others may be able to garner something that can help them on their journey. Now, is any of this going to appeal to people playing the regular mainstream game of, regular employment, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks of the year, trying to rise up a ladder, retirement funds, IRAs, hierarchies, labels? Likely not. Are there still lessons that people following that path can find, nuggets of information that may help them? I totally believe so. They're not the ones that I'm targeting. I'm targeting ones for whom the mainstream just isn't their cup of tea. Targeting folks who are looking to pave their own path. I'm targeting folks who are resonating with voices, an increasing amount of voices out there speaking and trying to give voice to various other versions of reality. Because trust me, there is a lot more going on than what our television programs and what our news media and what we learn in our schools and what we learn in our homes. There's a lot more going on than what any of us can possibly imagine. And there are a lot of people out there who have been uncovering and doing the work of trying to, again, give voice to some of these greater realities and things going on. And then there's plenty of people who don't want to hear it. They don't. And I can respect that. Again, there is an audience, a target audience that I have. And it will be easier for me as I draw in that target audience. But for now, I don't really have a very large number of viewership. I don't know who I'm speaking to. If I did, I could customize the message a little bit more directly. It's why I long for real in-person, face-to-face interactions as opposed to putting stuff on the internet. But I have to work with what I've got and where I'm at. And where I'm at is I've got a vision that's impossible to explain with just words. It's something I've been living for 10 years. A lot of things are beginning to manifest. It's pretty incredible and amazing how well I'm doing. Now, it has taken a lot longer than I ever imagined. And most people, but no one but me, can really understand or see what I'm doing, how far I've come, what is going well. It still likely looks and sounds like it's all I don't know, disjointed, like it's nonsensical, like it's perhaps, quite on the fringe, maybe not altogether there. That's okay. It's still uncomfortable, but I'm getting used to having that be the way that many people probably interpret my work right now. I know I need to make it clearer, and I know I need to begin to focus in and hone in on certain aspects of the experience, certain aspects of the vision, make those clear, and then pan back out and go into a different aspect. And finally, I kind of see a way to do this. The farm experience is the beginning of me seeing a way to do this. And the exercise that I undertook back in February when I identified my board of my company of me via 12 aspects of myself is also giving me a way to possibly do this. Focus in on certain aspects through, in this case, a very specific part of Alyson's journey, the 13 seasons spent at this organic farm, and utilizing, in this case, the 12 identified aspects, most activated aspects of her character as of February, and we're still working with the same 12 aspects, and sort of speaking through those voices to this experience. It's the clearest avenue I have yet, but it's still new. So it's taken me a couple of takes here to even still find my footing. The goal is still to give voice to the silent giant, the wounded child, and the leader, for certain, as it pertains to this experience. But I'm beginning to realize that the other 9 voices need a shot as well. Silent Giant's hard. It's the one I wanted to start with, but it's a hard one because, as the name suggests, it doesn't like to be seen. Its whole purpose is to stay anonymous and quiet and in the background. And that part of me really was holding on to a chance to shine as anonymously and quietly in the background of the farm, especially once the farm reached no money, backed in a corner. If it's going to stay open, it has to change. I knew it was still a long shot, but I thought I had to take the chance that I might still get that shot as something real to say, hey, look, I know I'm not real clear on what my company of meat is, but here's a real world example. This is what I did. I can still speak about the farm, but it would have been a different experience had I really had a shot to try to bring it into something different, something that allowed it to stay open and to be a little bit more sustainable. Now, alas, I did not get that shot. I trust Divine's planning of things of why, and I'm just trying to make the best of all the pieces right now. So I am still going to speak from those perspectives, but I can't rush it. And I'm hoping that this recording, as with everything, I'm always talking to myself first and foremost. So I'm hoping it gives me a little bit better framework and a little bit more of a solid position to keep working from and to keep taking the next step from. So we'll see how this turns out, if I'm able to share any of it. And for the few that tune in and watch, trust me, this isn't something I can stop. I'll be spending the rest of my life trying to live first this vision and bring voice to it second. But this is how This is what I'm here to do and be. And I'm here to make it as happy and as fun and enjoyable as possible. Those haven't been adjectives that have described Allison's life for most of his life. So it still worked for me to not be so serious, to be detached from having an effect, to take care of myself first and foremost, to not worry about if it affects or changes anyone else. So yeah, I'm going to conclude for now, and we'll see if I'm able to capture anything with this recording. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.